Fair dinky Aussie. You know what? We've got a fair dinky Aussie on the line now. I'll tell you what, someone who is enjoying. We were talking about the heat just before, but how's this? Down around Bendigo Way today, they're up around about 40 degrees. Would you like that?
No.
But this is the beauty of Australia. This is the beauty of Australia. Next Wednesday, this time, about next Thursday morning, they're going to be down to 7 degrees in the morning.
40 degrees
and
in
40
the day,
degrees.
7 in the morning.
And someone that's enjoying that out in the country of the Bendigo area at the moment is Doug Bruce, and he joins us on the line. G'day, Doug. How you going?
I'm good, Darren. How are you? Darren and Tracy?
Tracy.
Well, that's right. I've put on my racy hat and everything. How silly am I? This typo thing's not good with me. I'm not good with computers, Bruce.
Doug?
Well, Doug, Tracy. I'm shocking at it. I'm terrible with that, too. That's all good. It's good fun. Hey.
But it is
how you guys doing?
How one letter can change a whole sentence, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, that's a good song. There's a song in that.
There was a song in everything.
There it is.
We first caught up with Doug just before the Urban Country Music Festival 2 years ago. They were heading up, Doug Bruce and the Tailgaters heading up. Had a very successful year at the Urban Country last year, and then this year came back for main stage and blew away. Must have been a big time for you, Doug.
Oh, it was fantastic. We had a ball. That was quite a good experience for us, and I was standing up backstage, and we were waiting to go on, and somebody made the announcement, Doug Bruce and the Tailgaters coming up next, and I couldn't believe the reaction that was quite surprising to us. Like, wow, they know who we are. Fantastic.
You've had a lot of success with your songs. We go through the things like Sweet, and Coffee Road was just a really special song for you. And getting that elusive number one must have been a big thrill as well.
Well, it was, and it was more. It meant more to me because that's a very personal song to me. That's just a song about my growing up in a small town, and so that song is about my memories basically. And I didn't really expect it would be. I didn't reckon it would be a number one. I thought, well, people like it pretty good. I reckon there's a lot of people who might connect with it, but I never expected that, and it was quite a joyful day whenever that came out, and I said, wow, well, that's pretty cool. I guess I've done something right there.
Do you find synergies between country towns, whether in country towns in the USA or country towns in Australia?
A lot of similarities, really. There's not that much difference to me. I mean, the only real difference is the Utes are a little different, but other than that, and then the country accent's a little different. But as far as the feel, everybody in the little town that I grew up in and little towns back home are usually very friendly country people, down-to-earth people, and real people. And I think it's the same everywhere you go.
Now, since we spoke to you last year, I think it was around Urban Time, you've had a big year, and of course you've just released in this month here your third album, Made That Way. So what made that last 12 months? What was the big thing for you in your last 12 months?
Well, the big thing for us was, of course, getting into the main stages of some of the bigger festivals, like Caboolture and all of those, and that was quite a big year for us as far as that. It felt like we're kind of starting to, people are starting to know about us, and that's a good feeling. And then to finally get this third album going, it's been 2 years since I released the last one, and I know a lot of people were kind of trying to put a fire under me to get another one out, and I was really, I really wanted to, and I was kind of pushing it, but at the same time, we had our house up on the market last year, and just before Tamworth, we bought another place, and we moved out and literally moved everything off the truck into the house. And the next day, I said, "See ya, have fun unpacking. I'm going to Tamworth." So,
yeah, you're a nice type, aren't you? Yeah, good on you.
I did all I could do to help. I had to go. So we're in the middle of that, and at the same time, I produce and record all of my own albums to date, and I had to rebuild the studio, so that took me another 4 to 5 months to do that. So by the time I got all that done, it's kind of like, okay, now we can start recording. And between that time, the time of selling the house and getting the studio done up, I had written a lot of songs and got a lot of songs sent over from friends and other writers, and so I kind of had a little bit of time while all that was happening to choose the songs and what was going to go on the album, what wasn't. And I think I was making those decisions down until it was time to go to master, but we got there. It was quite a big year for me, anyway.
We tend to catch up with a lot of people that do different things about different festivals behind the scenes and so forth, and I was speaking to one of the people involved with the merchandise at the Gympie Country Music Festival this year, and they reckon that the sales of Doug Bruce records and merchandise was one of the biggies. Was that the experience you had?
Well, the last go round, yeah, we did pretty well. I was pretty surprised. The year before we came out, my Good Place album was the top seller at Gympie, not this festival, but the festival before, and that was a big surprise. And I think it did pretty well this year. I think Corb Lund did us all in this year, but didn't happen to a better bloke. But it's quite an interesting thing, you know. When I came to Australia, and a lot of people that I talk to, other artists and people who I speak to at festivals and that, fans and that, you know, a lot of them think that I came over here to be a singer, that I was a singer in the States, and I wasn't at all. You know, I was quite the opposite. I had no desire to do what I'm doing now, and you know, I was happily just a drummer, and I write a few songs. And when I came over here, I just kind of was urged to do my own thing, and I did. Just thought, well, we'll give it a go, and we did, and you know, here we are. It's been quite an interesting ride.
Well, we're glad you did that. Didn't just sit there back on the drums. Now, we're also having a look at, obviously we've got Tamworth coming up again for 2013, and looks like you're having a bit of a quiet one as well, hey? Like I think it's about 18 shows or something?
Yeah, we're going to lay back this year and this next go around. So, yeah, it's not too much more than we normally do at Tamworth. And, you know, every year we say we're going to just kind of, we're going to knock back a few. We're not going to do as many. But, you know, we have so much fun at Tamworth. And we just love to play. That's why we do this. We love to play music. We have fun when we're doing our shows, and especially if everybody else is into it. You know, we try to give them what we can, and they giving it back. We're just having a ball. Everybody's having fun, and we just love it. So we just, you know, say, oh, well, you want to do maybe 5 or 6, or you know, and it always ends up, you know, closer to 20. So that's, you know, we're happy with that. I mean, what else are we going to do? Sit up there and watch TV? You know, so.
Well, I mean, you have to have some time to be looking. I mean, there's a couple of days there where you sort of finish one gig at 3 o'clock and you're at another gig at 4, and then there's another one, I think you finish at 11, start another one at 12, start another one at 2. You have to have a sleep sometime.
Well, you can sleep when you're dead, I guess.
Well, we won't talk. Hopefully that's not too soon.
We were talking before about the recording studio. Are you doing much work for other artists, Doug?
I have. I've got. I prefer to work with artists that are kind of up and coming, or trying to get their material started in the market. You know, like singers, songwriters that are kind of new to the game. Probably the most well-known one that I produced, an artist a couple of years ago, was Amber Joy Polton. I did her debut original album for her, and she had quite some success with that album, and I'm quite proud of that, and she is as well. And but yeah, I do. I work with you know, whoever wants to record. I kind of lean toward the writers more, because I try and help them develop. A lot of writers come to me to help them develop their songs and put the music around it. And I just get the guys in the band are normally the players that I use. And we just kind of come in and nut everything out and put it down.
Well, it sounds like it's a method that's working well, and something that'll be there. But is that something you're looking at doing more of? Is opening up that recording studio and your skills to other people?
Yeah, that's absolutely what I'd like to do. I mean, I love playing live, and I love what I'm doing now. But there's, you know, it's just like anything else. There's only so much or so long you can do that. And I mean, I'll do it until they have to wheel me off the stage. But I think I enjoy both sides of it equally. I guess I love the creative side of it, the recording and writing. And so yeah, I would love to do more of that. It's funny because most of the time if we're touring or we're playing quite a bit, then the studio just kind of sits there. And when things start slowing down toward the end of the year, a project will normally come along, and some little thing will come along, and so it's quite good. But it's always good to get more. I just like to have artists do what they do.
Well, it's awesome, because it's nice to know, like, when the music industry is just, we're quite often the saying, it's fantastic how, like, the musicians will always run around and back everybody else and things like that. So it's nice to see that, like yourself, that's got the studio, is there ready to help out all the ones that are up and coming through. And it was particularly, as you said, the songwriting. Some guys are just on that border there where they just need that little tweak and they've made the songwriting journey, but sometimes it just takes that little push or just a bit of guidance. That's all it needs. So we thank you for that as well.
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of I don't consider myself a great songwriter. I think I do okay. I write some pretty good songs occasionally, but I think it's kind of, when you're co-writing with somebody, it's almost like it's like going on a ride. You're not quite sure where it's going to end up. And, all right, I'll take the wheel for a little while, and okay, now you take the wheel for a while, and let's see where this trip's going to go. And sometimes you come out in a place where you didn't quite expect to go, and it's a lot of fun, So that's the part I like about it. Where's the journey gonna take us? That's what the songs are all about.
Well, we've got the third album out at the moment, Made That Way, and if the single is out at the moment, Made That Way. Why did you choose the title of the song, like that particular song, for your first single?
Well, because when I first started doing the singing thing, it was 7-8 years ago. When I first came to Australia, I'd always sing harmonies from behind the drums for whoever I was backing. But when I started doing the front thing, I started out like most people do. I go to start out in the markets. I'd set up my little table at the market, Sunday market, and sing and all that, which is fantastic. You just sell a lot of CDs that way.
You sure do.
I did that, and I finally started getting some little festivals and some smaller pub gigs and things like that, and then we went into the band. But to this day, there's always one person at the gig will come up to me that doesn't know, and it happened at Tamworth last year, and the year before, and there's always somebody who's never seen us before. Mm-hmm. There's always people that haven't seen us before, but there's always one person that'll come up to me at the end of the gig and say, "Look, mate, we love what you're doing, but why do all you Australian country singers try to sound like Yanks?" And my response is, "Well, sorry, man, I'm made that way, I can't help it." And I just got thinking about it, and kind of reminiscing about, growing up and some of the experiences I had. 'Cause I was raised by, partially by my grandparents. They looked after me a lot when I was a kid, and they kind of instilled their values as well. And so, it just kind of gave me the idea for that song. Well, I'm not trying to sound like anybody else. A lot of people tell me I sound like another singer, but we won't go there.
No, you sound like, you know who you sound like? You sound like Doug Bruce.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
That's exactly who you sound like, Doug Bruce.
And let me tell you, that American accent you put on is really good.
It's
convinced me.
That's what happened at Tamworth. A good friend of ours, she's a lovely girl. She comes to a lot of our shows at Tamworth, and she did it. The first time she ever saw us, she came over to the guitar player after a gig. We were playing the Fitzroy Tavern, I think it was, at Tamworth. And was doing our thing, and she, during break, went up to Mark, and she says, "Man, you guys are pretty good." She said, that singer's really good, but he needs to stop putting on that phony American accent. And he says, no, he's from Texas. He's American. No, he's not. That's just a bad accent. No, really, go talk to her. And she's not lived that down yet. That's quite funny. We bring that up every time we see her. So.
Oh, well done.
That's what happens when you mix Bendigo and Texas. That's the accent you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sounds Irish.
Yeah. Well, Doug, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you again. Good luck with the album. Good luck with Tamworth, and have a very merry and safe Christmas if we don't catch up with you beforehand. And we look forward to catching up with you in the new year. And we'd love it if you could just introduce your single for our listeners right now.
Yeah, this is the brand new single off my off of Doug Bruce's album, Made That Way.